I don't know where that sound was coming from, but it wasn't intentional. Mm. Good morning, and welcome to. Oh, it's called Morning Breaker today. I'm gonna have to change that. Um, Welcome to Morning Medley, number 127. Maybe it is a breaker today. Wow, this smoothie is way thicker than they normally are. Through the spoon. Welcome everybody. Um, today feels Today feels good. Today feels good. Today feels good. Last night I was working on that chord progression more. This one. And then it goes. Something like that. Anyways, I ended up progressing it a little bit, so it's a little bit longer now. Hello T-Pat. Hello Opal. Hello Romaine Lettuce. Hello Smitty. Oh, and Darius made it this morning. Good morning, Darius. Hope you're having a good morning. Mm. Oh, wow. You know, bananas can. It's interesting how bananas go from being almost completely flavorless to being so rich, depending on how overripe they are. I've been waiting until bananas get overripe and then freezing the banana to make smoothies, and it really changes the whole like flavor profile of the smoothie, as opposed to just getting them, bright yellow and chopping them up and freezing them when they're still kind of firm. Anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and start things off with Union Station today. The song's called Union Station. It's named after the train station in Los Angeles. Good morning, Lindsay. Hey, Philip. Cyber thought that the smoothie was a flower pot. You know something interesting about that, Cyber? There's a place in Portland, in Portland, Oregon, that makes smoothies, but does put flower petals in them. It's very expensive, and I don't remember particularly enjoying mine, but I thought it was a cool thing. And I was like, oh, maybe that is a thing I could do. I've never really. I like florally flavored things, right? I like lavender teas. I like lilac things. I like rose flavored things. But the weird thing is I can't eat the flower itself, and I know there's a lot of places that will just straight up put like the flower petals in the tea. For example, if you get a rose milk tea from Tea for You or from there's another place that does it. What was the other place? I think it was Toast Tea. They put actual rose petals in the tea. I don't like this, but I've thought about a way maybe where I can figure out how to incorporate flowers into something that I make. I feel like flowers typically tend to be in dessert things, right? Like a drink or a baked good. Not really much savory flower stuff. Sunflower seeds? I guess they aren't eating the petals of the sunflower. Word. romaine lettuce. So it certainly sounds very interesting, and actually something I've been considering personally lately. Interesting, romaine. I'm feeling great, Lindsay. Great. That seems a little exaggerated. Maybe I'm just okay today. Um, I'm almost done with the quarantine that's going to go up tomorrow. Ooh, it's very good today. Yeah, I'm gonna let the bananas get mushy from now on. Mm. I was up a little late last night, Cyber. At least late for me. Um, I did get enough sleep, but maybe it's too early to tell, right? I wake up so early for like my workout and everything, and even though I'm not sleepy yet, maybe it's coming for me later. No, I'm gonna go into French lavender from vanilla, I guess, since Lindsay's so early today. I don't know if you like matcha, but one of the best drinks I've ever had was an iced lavender matcha latte. Something interesting about matcha, um, Lindsay, is I can only have the matcha flavor very cold. It's almost like my smoothies. If I let the smoothie get like room temperature, I wouldn't enjoy it at all anymore. Too many of the flavors mixing together would be really tart for me. The same way about matcha. So like matcha frozen yogurt or matcha ice creams and stuff like that. There's a place in downtown LA that it's closed now, but it's usually open. And it's called Midori Matcha, and they have a thing called a matcha. God, the birds are so loud lately. They have a thing called a matcha granita, which is just matcha. I think it's matcha soft serve, but it's like blended with no, it's matcha tea, but it's blended with vanilla soft serve. Or it's matcha blended with matcha sauce. I don't know. Anyways, it's very very cold. It's almost like a milkshake, but matcha. I like it a lot. But drinking just straight up like traditional matcha tea is very difficult for me. I do like it. It's just not my go-to. Word, Anna. Why did I say Anna? Ava. Anyways, when I usually let the bananas turn like straight up black, I usually mush them together and just put them in my waffle mix when I make waffles in the morning, which is, by the way, what I'm having for breakfast today because I ran out of potatoes. So I don't eat potatoes as a side when I have waffles. Morning Breaker sounds like a valiant comic superhero. You know, T-Pad, after I accidentally named this stream Morning Breaker, I thought about having a stream called Morning Breaker. I like it, like breaking morning, breaking dawn. I like it. Hmm. I like it, but I am going to edit it to be Morning Medley just for consistency's sake. I make cantaloupe popsicles in the summertime. So excited for it, says Ava. Hmm. I actually prefer matcha cold too, says Lindsay, and I wonder what science is behind that. Certain flavors being better cold. Um, Lindsay, I think things that are generally very strong or bitter or tart are better cold. Because, well, yeah, I don't really know the science behind it either, but just things that are very strong or sour, usually you can consume cold and they're fine. Like the Sour Patch Kids Slurpee at, I don't know, 7-Eleven. Things that are really sweet. Oh, why is that? Yeah, if you take something that's extremely sweet, like Kool-Aid with too much sugar in it or something, and you freeze it, it becomes less sweet. You freeze soda in it, and it becomes less sweet. Or at least jarring. The flavor's less jarring. I don't know what the science behind that is. taste like harsh or jarring when you eat them? I don't know. I can't confirm that, but it sounds smart and informed enough. So I'm gonna go with romaine lettuce on this one. I'm doing okay, Maddie. I hope you're also having a good Monday. I actually have a lot of work to do this week, so I feel good today. I feel ready for a lot of that work. Blue skies. It's not really hot. It's not particularly hot right now, or cold, which is normal for Los Angeles. I kind of miss being able to go and do a lot of my work remotely. But yesterday I had a pretty productive day just at the kitchen table. I bought these new benches. I mean, a while ago. These aren't brand new. But I bought these new benches that have kind of increased productivity for me. I can't really explain why. Sometimes being around new furniture and changing the setup of your home or room can help productivity. But the way and the angle and the height at which the bench is at right now has been very conducive for my productivity. I just don't like forced reading, says Smitty. I do have a book I'm reading on my own called Fountainhead by. Oh, I know that. I know that book. Wow, I know that book very well. I read that book a very, very long time ago. It was like social studies required reading, I think. But yeah, Maddie, I moved some things in the kitchen, and yesterday I got a lot of it. Sorry, I have the hiccups, I guess now. Yesterday I got a lot of video editing done. That's a type of focus people have. Oh, what are you working on, Lindsay? good one. David says my new place has windows. It's so naturally bright in here. I'm shook. I love natural light. The way my apartment faces, I have one of the brightest apartments of all my friends. It's kind of like my apartment faces south, and all of the windows on it are kind of south and facing south and southwest. So, I guess in the mornings, the lights like this. It's not insane, but like once it gets to like early afternoon, it's like my whole apartment's golden. Oh, interesting. Cyber, I never thought about that actually. Cyber, from an architectural standpoint, a south-facing building. Yeah, the weather is very usually pretty temperate. Well, I have faith in you, Lindsay. What are you built for, Lindsay? Did somebody just ask me if I'm in Colorado? The Watcher, are you talking to me? No, I'm not. I'm not in Colorado. As Cyber was just talking about in the comment a little bit before yours, I'm in California, but I'm in Los Angeles. Liana, but I can still hear the train. It's usually late at night. Whoa, Cass is here. I didn't even see you. Welcome. Welcome and good morning. Wow, my neighborhood smells amazing right now. Somebody's making. Actually, what is that? It smells incredibly familiar. It smells like a stew or soup or something. I live not far from a train yard, says Romaine, and currently, so I agree. It's a nice sound at times. I do like the sound. I'm glad that I don't live like right on the metro. Like I feel bad for people that live on like Mission and Meridian in South Pasadena because it is like every 7 minutes. It's the dinging and the honking and the people. I'm glad that I'm a little further away from it so I don't hear that, but I do hear the train horn. I don't hear the tracks, I just hear the horn. Oh, you've been binging my tunes. Oh, wow. Thank you. Anything stick out in particular? Remember the haunted one? The haunted love letters? Ghost letters? There's also part of me that wonders if you can practice your way into being suited for a certain thing. What? I'm so sad that I didn't realize love letters had this potential when I made it. Oh, talk about Korea. I forgot all about that. Thanks, Cyber, for reminding me. So I was only in Korea for a few days. Felt like a few months, but yeah, it was only a few days. Um, the thing that I was talking about last time we were in the stream, and I mentioned Korea, was more so about a man that I ran into in Korea. Well, I didn't really run into him. I saw him. Me and him actually never had an interaction. He's somebody. Again, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a musician who several people in the stream probably listen to. So I'm not going to. I don't want to get myself into some weird trouble. But I don't particularly like this man. We've had our differences privately. His music is great, though. I respect his music. But he said something to me very, very disrespectful. And I want to say 2017. 2018 at the latest, but I'm pretty sure it was 2017. And it stuck with me, and I thought, wow, what a horrible person. What a terrible man. No, this person wasn't Korean. Let me stress that point. This person was not Korean. This is an American person. This is a person from California. We just both happened to be on tour in Korea at the same time. And the hotel, which I later found out was kind of the hotel that they put like foreigners in that are coming in. Why has there been so many sirens lately? What's even happening? Anyways, there's the like hotel that they kind of put visitors in. I went upstairs like as soon as I had gotten into town. I put all my bags and everything away, and I got to the bottom floor, and I was like so upset to see him. And anyways, we went on and played our different shows, and he left very soon after. He went to Taiwan after, and I went to Hong Kong after. So I didn't end up seeing him again on the tour. In fact, this was the last time I saw him. But it was this kind of weird. It gave me this really weird feeling of like. Pause my story really quick. Lindsay was talking about nature versus nurture. Like, say your dream is to be an animator, but you learn that you naturally aren't suited for repetitive tasks. Oh my god, that's... I'm gonna get to the thing you're talking about, Lindsay. Hold on, let me wrap up this career thing, because that's a much more interesting topic. But I think that interaction made me realize that the world is actually really small. And sometimes there will be somebody that you never see, and you'll go all the way to the other side of the planet, and there they are. So stupid. But my time in Korea was very, very fun. Korea was the first time that I've ever visited a country where I didn't speak at least a little bit of the language. I knew no Korean. I know far more Korean now than I knew when I was there, and I don't know very much Korean. I think I know like 10, 12 words now. But when I was there, I knew nothing. I mean, I knew a few words, but let's just say nothing that I could actually use, nothing that was conversational. Hello, Bagel First Ones. So, the majority, and I also wasn't a huge K-pop person. Oh, let me put it this way. When I went to Korea blind. I went to Korea in the same way that I watched the James Bond movies. I feel like somebody that was older than me when they were watching James Bond movies, they were like, yo, that's Sean Connery. Oh my god, I can't believe they got so-and-so to be in this. I can't believe, they were so impressed by what they saw on the screen because they had a lot of back knowledge for a lot of the things. In the same way that when I went to Japan and I see a giant Gundam statue, or I see Akihabara for the first time, or I see Tsukemen Yasube, or I see Ginza, or I go to the Yamaha headquarters. These are a lot of the things that had, like, what's the word? They had, I guess, context is the right word? It was as Akihabara was disappointing to me. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what you were expecting either. Ginza is pretty fancy. I didn't have really many expectations going into Japan, particularly going into Tokyo, and but I had a lot of knowledge of things, right? So I get to Ginza, I see the Yamaha headquarters, I'm like, that's who sponsors me, or I see Hatsune Miku, and I'm like, that's the thing that I've used, or I see Akihabara, and I'm like, this is the, I had a lot of context for things, so I was able to enjoy it on a different level than, say, somebody that doesn't really care about Japan just showing up to Japan. Now, as you guys know, as soon as I got back from that tour, I used a considerable amount of the money that I made on the tour to buy a TV. I had never, well, I have bought one TV. I've only bought 2 TVs in my lifetime. The first TV I bought was a 32-inch Sanyo television when I was in college, and it was the first TV I ever bought. And that TV, was I in college? I think I was in high school actually. I was on my second job. Anyways, this is a lot of unnecessary stuff. The TV cost $700. It was a long time ago. Now, if you want a 32-inch TV, there's no way you're paying $700 for it. And when I get back from the tour, I buy a Samsung TV. A lot of you guys know Samsung is a Korean company. You buy a Korean TV, typically a lot of the programming on it is going to be Korean. So since buying that TV, I have heard a lot of K-pop now, and I've seen a lot of K-dramas, and I've seen a lot of Korean movies, and I know a few Korean words now because of the TV. But this was all after I had gone. When I was there, I didn't know anything. I couldn't talk to anyone unless they could speak English. And I was seeing things. Granted, I do like Line. Like the Line messaging app, I use it a lot. That's like my whole thing. We have a Line store here in Hollywood, and I spend an embarrassing amount of money there. I do care a lot about Line. So there was that. That was the one thing, though. The one thing that they had there, and I was like, oh, this is a thing I know and love. But everything else was just nothing, right? And I have this really weird, I don't know how to describe this feeling, the feeling of having done something or gone someplace and then learned about it, I don't want to say posthumously because that implies death, but learned about it after the fact and thought, oh man, it would have been really nice to know that at the time. It's weird. It's weird. Now I'm seeing, like, I have these photos that I took in Japan, I mean, sorry, in Korea, and some of you guys have seen them. A lot of them are me around this weird, like, really impressively designed building that looks like a big metal bubble, like a weird amorphous bubble. And since getting back to the States, I've seen so many movies that feature that building, and I've heard so many people talking about that building, and I've seen so much and thought to myself, wow, I would have appreciated a lot of these things way more if I had any idea about them when I went. I just didn't know a lot. Most of my time in Korea was spent avoiding my rival and hanging out with my friends and not necessarily digging deep into Seoul as much as I did in Japan. And that's regrettable. I would like to go back soon someday. To lead from there into what Lindsay was talking about, that's a really hot topic, and I've gotten into a lot of heated debates on that, Lindsay. Right, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. I guess that's an easy conversation killer or a debate killer, is if somebody's trying to argue human propensity or potential, you can just say everybody's different, and that usually kills the argument. Oh, that's really cool, Ava. That's really cool. I'd probably like to hear more about that experience later. Something that's interesting, though, Ava, to know, and I want to say this, and then move on a little bit, is that I feel like you traveling to Korea, with your teacher and classmates, even if it wasn't with a teacher and classmates, I think that traveling somewhere and touring someplace is, obviously it's not the same, but I think a lot of people don't understand how much of touring is just work. Like, I do show up to a place for work, and then usually after I'm finished with work, they ship me to another country. So, even if I did have like a teacher and like two friends with me, it's not like I would have been able to get pulled all around and like really get deep into the culture anyway. It's weird. It's like traveling for business as opposed to like traveling for vacation. It's weird. Jamie Flores says, good morning, everyone. On lunch break at work, just in time. Oh, hello, Jamie Flores. I hope you're enjoying your break, and I hope you're enjoying your shift at work as well. It's weird. It's weird. I would say, Ava, that I'll put a button in this, and then I will move to Lindsay's thing. I will say that there are certain things, like, you're right, the grass is always greener. There are certain things about vacation that I'll never really be able to understand until I go on a vacation, because I personally have never been on one. And there are certain things and idiosyncrasies and nuances about traveling for work as a performer entertainer that are hard to explain to people. And there are definitely some perks, right? Because when I'm traveling and I'm touring, I get treated really nice. Generally. I mean, I know there's like a lot of racism, and me being a musician isn't going to trump that. But when I travel to Japan, there is a certain importance placed on me because I'm there to do a job. And the people that are there for that job are very interested in me. People want to make sure I'm having a good time. People want to make sure I'm taken care of, make sure I'm fed, make sure I'm paid, make sure that I'm happy, and that I'm enjoying my stay. So there is more of an importance placed on me as an individual. But at the same time, I am there to do work. So at the back of my head, no matter what I do, whether I'm eating at a restaurant, whether I'm talking to friends, whether I'm going to a shop, at the back of my head, I'm always thinking about work. It is the only reason I'm here is because I made this amount of music and I have to perform it later. And so it's weird. It's weird. I would love to make a whole stream about that, talking about the differences between touring and traveling, vacation and working, but I'm not going to do that this stream because Lindsay brought up a pretty cool topic. Do you think that might be a cultural thing, says Cass? Levels of importance. Was it to me? Was that question to me? Levels of importance when traveling. Well, yes and no. I think when you're traveling anywhere, Hello, Potato Gaming. I think when you're traveling anywhere as a performer, there's going to be a level of importance put on you, no matter what the country is, whether it's Japan, Korea, Canada, the US, England. There's always going to be a certain importance put on you because you are the entertainment. In the same way that when you show up at a wedding and you're the band, the wedding band, versus being, I don't know, the groom's second cousin, there's going to be a different importance put on the band because the band has a very specific job to do. If the band fails at their job, it could ruin the wedding. Ruin the wedding being a big term here. If the groom's second cousin, doesn't wear a tie, the wedding's going to be fine. The wedding's probably going to be more or less okay. So, more sirens. Los Angeles people. Okay. I think Lindsay brought up a very important point about nature versus nurture. Again, easy way to kill this debate is everybody's different, and saying everybody's different. That's the way that this debate dies. So I'm gonna keep myself from saying that, and say, good idea, Cyber. I'm gonna keep from saying that and say that I'm always on the side of nurture versus nature, and the reason that I'm on the side, Lindsay, on nurture versus nature is because in my life there's been a lot of things that I've been very, very good at that I had let's say, a ranging level of interest in. And then there have been a lot of things that I've been perceptively bad at, or perceived to be bad at, that I also had a range of interest in. For example, a lot of people think that music was some type of natural talent. A lot of people do that. We've talked about this a lot in the stream. But I was not always good at music. I was very bad at music for a long time. And I think that people who have believed in me over my path have more or less tried to instill the idea in me that, like, oh no, we always saw this in you. You were a musical spirit. But I think that is a kind of antiquated way of looking at work and music, because music, just like anything else in life, is going to take work to get good at, right? To get good at. And again, I'm gonna shelf good specifically because we're talking about art. So we don't really need to define what good or bad is. But pursuing things in my life, there are a lot of things I've pursued. I pursued math. I was very, very interested in math for a second. Not necessarily math in school. School in general was very uninteresting to me. But math, as far as a concept and how I could use it in my day-to-day life, i.e. algorithms when solving a Rubik's Cube, or algorithms when making subtractive synthesis for my music. I do like math. When I'm making my videos, my videos that you guys have seen me post, like for Quarantunes, I'm very interested and fascinated in like resolutions and dimensions. Like if I have a 1920 by 1080 square, sorry, it's a rectangle. If I have a 1920 by 1080 rectangle and I have 4 squares in it, what is the resolution of those 4 need to be for them to fit neatly in this big rectangle? And then if I'm multiplying it down, it becomes squaring. If you think about the rectangle and you're trying to fit other rectangles in it equally that are the same size as the whole, or the same dimensions as the whole. Oh my god, I can already see myself boring everybody on the stream. You can only do it in squares. Squares being like this square, you can either be one big video, or it could be 4 videos equally spaced at the same dimensions, or the same ratio, or you could have it 9, right? Because 3, or you can have it 16, you could have it 16, or you could have it 25. See what I'm doing here? That's interesting math to me because it's practical. I can use it in day-to-day life. Some math gets, a little wishy-washy and I don't feel how important it is, but I do like math. It's not something that comes naturally to me, and I'm naturally poor at math and figures and numbers and shapes, but it's something that I've worked at because I'm interested in it. Now, I'm also somewhat tall. I'm like a taller than average human being. I wouldn't call myself a tall man, but I think that I'm taller than whatever the average American male is. and I have long legs. And so somebody may say that that makes me predisposed to being good at, I don't know, track or basketball, both things that I went out for in school. Now, when I went out for track and field, I was okay, right? I wasn't bad at it. I didn't enjoy it at all. And there's a lot of people with shorter legs than me, that were shorter as people than me, that were far faster than I was. I think that there are like things that are just boiled down, right? Where like if you have good eyesight, like your eyes are good, people are like, oh, you might make a good pilot or a good marksman, right? Like maybe you're good at shooting because you have pretty decent eyesight. Certainly better than somebody like me who has poor eyesight. Or if the hoop's up here and you're 7 feet tall, somebody might go, hey, you might be a good basketball player because it's just easier for you physically to get the ball in the hoop. But I think a lot of these things are um, ridiculous. I think life is more complicated than just being tall enough to reach a hoop or have good enough eyes to see a bullseye. Um, because people that don't have eyes at all are able to play piano better than me, better than I can. And people with no hands are able to play trumpet. Remember that dude that was playing trumpet with his feet? It was trombone, I think. My bad. He was playing trombone with his feet. And so, Lindsay, whenever it comes to the nature versus nurture argument, I'm always on the side of nurture. I think that I think that we are products of our environment and our desires and motivations. I don't know. And the same me, in a different environment probably isn't going to be doing this stream right now. It's just, I'm always on the side of nurture. That being said, sometimes things just happen. Maddie says, I was real tall in middle school and everyone was telling me to do basketball, but I could barely shoot the ball. It just wasn't my skill. Word, Maddie. Hello, Tommy. I was fat, so told I should play rugby. Everyone overlooked the fact that I was fat and couldn't run for more than 2 minutes. I never played rugby, but it looks so unfun. It looks dangerous. Looking at people play rugby makes me very upset. Ava says, I'm super strongly on the side of nurture as well. I absolutely loathe the concept of talent. That's practice and hard work under a trench coat of genius. I feel very aligned with the people in the stream. There's like no devil's advocates in this stream. Everybody in the stream has pretty much more or less the same ideals and morals and ideologies that I do, so that's interesting. As Bob Ross would say, it's just practice. Yeah. I don't believe in talent either. And I so strongly don't believe in talent that I have to combat myself whenever people accredit my accomplishments to talent. People are like, oh wow, you're gifted on me, like you're naturally gifted. Uh, wow, what a gift you have. And I'm like, no, that's not a gift. It's just hard work. You wouldn't call $1 million a gift. I mean, well, sometimes $1 million is a gift. Okay, we ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice. Yeah. Practice is very important. I can't think of too many schools of thought more prohibitive than that of natural talent. If we allow ourselves to believe that people have natural talent or people were born singers or born actors, then it encourages laziness. It encourages complacency. It encourages people to go, well, I wasn't born with that talent. I'm not naturally gifted like Stevie Wonder is, so why even bother trying? They hear these sometimes encouraged by or informed with truth, but kind of embellished stories about, oh, Mozart was 6 years old and wrote this amazing thing, and he was also blind and deaf and had no limbs, and he wrote the best. I feel like there's a lot of like exaggerated stories to make people seem as more of a genius than they actually are. People will often like discredit their team or their environment or what their parents were doing or the era, what was going on at that time, or wealth. There's a lot of things that go into somebody being seen as like a child prodigy that I feel like would make people more human and essentially make them maybe less impressive. So people usually hide those details. like if I just told everybody that I had never played piano before, one day I just picked it up and I was super good at it, then everybody would go, oh, wow, natural talent. Everything you've done is really good. But I have a lot of bad songs that I've made, and I just choose not to share those. Also, I didn't start playing piano very young. You know, this was like a high school boredom thing, not something like where I was taking lessons when I was like 6 years old. Cyber says, I don't think about talent in a sense of being naturally skilled at something, but I believe in the concept of aptitude from a standpoint of being able to apply a previously learned skill or way of looking at things and apply it to a new challenge for sure. I mean, this is life and growing and life, just growing as a person. Ava says, no, Maddie says, Ava, that's so true. People use talent as an argument for so much that it's some unlikely concept to be an artist. Yeah, people are stupid. Tommy says, on this topic, that was. That's something. That's something. I've heard that before. That's like a notification noise or something online. On this topic, that was one thing I really don't like about my friend who immediately dismisses trying things because they're not good at it straight away. Yeah, screw people like that. I'm sorry, that was overly harsh. People like that are fine. They have a lot of growing up to do. I'll put it that way. If you're discouraged by doing something because you're not immediately good at it, you're a child, and you should probably move past that because you're never gonna accomplish anything. You know, anything complicated anyway. I mean, even babies, right? Even babies that fall down a bunch and still keep like trying to walk. That would actually be wild to meet a kid that never learned how to walk because they were just like, I tried it a few times and I fell over, so it's just not for me. I'm not a talented walker. It's very ooh. Drawing, for example, they'd immediately say, my friend is a great drawer, and I ask how. Ah, yeah. Yeah, it just takes time. I'll just be specific and say my situation. I am co-directing a new growing organization, but I don't have a lot of the traits a lot of natural leaders have, says Lindsay. I haven't answered that, Lindsay, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of this chat first. Word of Ava, I feel you. Um, uh, I love to say that I'm super organized, but I'm not. I'm not super ambitious. I honestly would rather not represent something in the public eye because I don't want to be the face of something, says Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay. Wasco says do a song with Stevie. Tell that to Stevie. I haven't talked to Stevie in a while. I should probably text him. Tell that to Stevie. I've heard it. Now tell the other half and see what he says. Hi, Wasco, by the way. Um, Lindsay, I think I I agree with you as far as like not wanting to be the face of something and not being a natural born leader. A natural born leader. I think that a lot of leaders are actually thrust into the position un unwillingly. Now, that isn't to say that just because you're pushed in front, out in front of a project, Lindsay, that you're going to shine like a bright star and lead everybody to victory. I'm not saying that that's necessarily an inevitability. All I'm saying is that when when you're saying you don't have a lot of the natural things, you're like messy and unorganized. I don't think these are the things that make a leader. I think these are the things in a textbook people say make good leaders. Um, but I think all that actually makes a good leader is certainty. And certainty isn't really anything but being convinced of something, right? We have all just been convinced that, what are we convinced of? That the quarantine's going to end eventually. But we're not really certain. And so I feel like if you can just get behind yourself, Lindsay, as far as confidence, I think that you are now a good leader. I think that's really the only thing. Sure, there's a lot of other like minutia that I could go into that are like good leadership skills, but as far as like a leader being just a leader, I've seen a lot of people that very much did not want to be a leader, thrust into the front of a project, i.e., my old band mate, who only had to become the leader because he was just as like shy and kind of standoffish as I am. But nothing was getting done, so he kind of had to be pushed up into that position, and he ended up like really doing a lot of stuff for us. And like he surprised me with his level of initiative. But I think that he only did that because a leader had to form in order for things to get done. sometimes people will lead out of necessity and not necessarily out of some natural disposition to leadership. But that being said, if you don't want to be the leader, that's a completely different thing, right? Like if you actively are rejecting the idea of being a leader of something, then maybe that's not something that's going to work. Cyber says, slight topic shift. Someone sent me this and I wanted to share. Search YouTube for Never Gonna Give You Up, but an AI attempts to continuously generate more of the song. Oh, AI really have come a long way, haven't they? For practical things and for, like, meme benefits. I feel that a good leader is someone who can get everyone on the same page. I much prefer a leader who is honest about how they're feeling and still gives. We're just talking about leadership skills now. I generally find that people who refer to themselves as natural leaders are quite bossy and controlling. Word, Cass. I feel you. I think I'm just convinced my radical political opinions will come back to bite my group. Probably. I think if you can foresee that being a problem for the team, maybe that's something to tell the team. Again, you're talking to me, somebody who is like very alone, right? I'm not in a team. I don't have a team. Whenever I'm a part of a team, I feel like the team's rejecting me, and it's never true. The team's never rejected me. That's just like, it's my own weird psychosis thing where I feel like every single time I'm in a group of people that have the same goal, everybody else in the group is looking at me like waiting for me to leave. And so I'm probably not the best person to come to for advice for this, but I hope in some way that this conversation has helped you, even a modicum, right, Lindsay? Aren't we all passionate patriots? Did I play everybody's song? Goodbye, Janie. I hope you enjoyed your lunch break, and I was glad that you spent it in the stream with us. Word up, Jamie. I appreciate you. There's probably not going to be that much more of it, though, Jamie. We're almost at an hour. I've completed the MSG games this week. Oh, they're amazing games, aren't they, Cass? They're amazing games. Snake Eater is amazing, Tommy. And 5 was amazingly fun. I've started the stream. Full disclosure, where I've started this stream, or I've queued up the stream, and then I looked at yesterday's stream and realized I was wearing the same shirt, and then I changed shirts just because I didn't want to be seen as like some type of slob. Um, yeah, sometimes I'll change a shirt just for the stream, and then after the stream's over, I'll change back. I'll change back into like my slob gear and then go make breakfast. uh, Want to have something really weird, Ava? Actually, this isn't weird. This isn't weird. This isn't weird. This is a moment of honesty. This is a safe space. You know how for PE. When when you were in like junior high and high school and you had to change out for PE, and the uniform is typically like a T-shirt that had your school's name on it or something like that, you know, Highland Hawks or I don't know, Denver High Donkeys, I don't know. And then or maybe it was just the acronym, and then the shorts that you were like these like just gym shorts, right? Like whack gym shorts. Standard issue gym shorts. And I remember they had it wasn't co-ed, they had like boys PE classes and they had girls PE classes. And as a boy, obviously there was always this like fascination with the girls' locker room. Never be able to go in, of course not. But I remember the girls' locker room, when the door would open, it always smelled like really musty. I mean, of course it did. These are teenagers. But I remember the girls coming out in gym shorts was like such a high memory, a highly placed memory of mine. It was like I remember if we were in the hall and the teacher, like the coach, was talking to the boys, and then the girls came out of the girls' locker room. Like the teacher might as well not have existed. And so sometimes the coach would actually stop talking to us and wait until the girls were out of eyesight before he would continue talking, which is very polite of him. We all appreciated that. But now, even to this day, seeing somebody in gym shorts, it like does this like really weird like time warp to me, where I feel like I'm like seeing any type of woman in gym shorts makes me feel like I'm like 13 again, and I'm like I need to focus now on the girls are coming out of the locker room. It could be like a 50-year-old woman. It doesn't matter. Freaking gym shorts. And I can't think of a reason why anybody would wear gym shorts. But, I mean, right now in quarantine, a lot of people are wearing gym shorts. And a lot of people are going outside in gym shorts now, waiting in line at Sprouts or whatever. So now I go out waiting in line at Sprouts, and I feel like I'm waiting outside the girls' locker room again. It's very, very distracting. And it's not the people. I want to emphasize, it's not the people. It's just the shorts. So weird. Crap, I can't remember what we were talking about. But a quick sample of today's or tomorrow's quarantine. It's going to be called replay because it's called Old Enough. Yeah, it's called Old Enough. Okay, I hated gym so much in middle school, says Maddie. My friend and I always would get out of participating and we'd wear our real clothes under gym clothes because we didn't want to bother undressing. Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you really did hate it. I actually really liked gym. I was one of the few people that loved PE. I took PE after it wasn't even required. You only had to take it, I think, for 1 or 2 years in high school. I still kept taking it. I just really enjoyed PE. Not even shorts, Umbe Bleeder. Specifically, like, really, like, ugly gym shorts. I feel like there's a wide range of gym shorts and they give off very different vibes. I wish I could show you the exact ones that I'm thinking of. They have the like holes in them, but not holes. You know how it is, where it's like three layers, and the topmost layer has like a bunch of like little like pinholes in them. They've got like the drawstrings to tighten them. Word. Omni was the jock in the class. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I wish that were true. That would have been so cool. My life, wow, what a different life I would have led. I think the reason that I liked gym cyber is because I I thoroughly enjoy exercising. I like running. I don't know. School wasn't a very happy time. Well, high school wasn't a very happy time, and so just being able to like run around and like throw balls at stuff and punch things was like kind of therapeutic, I suppose. And so I did enjoy gym. Also, you couldn't really fail. There wasn't a lot of like active thought in gym. There was like the medical module where you did have to like go over the cardiovascular system and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was like an easy A, I guess. And I got to exercise, you know, break a sweat. That felt nice. The doo doo mamas, dang. Word up, Leanna. Oh, dang. I guess I did like the doo doo mamas. Wow, that's really funny. I like being outside. That's why I jog, says Neil. But word up, word up. I agree with this. I love strength and conditioning my last year of high school. Word up, Romaine Lettuce. I feel you on that. Allergic to endorphins, eh, says Tom. Oh. Uh, oh, Kid James is here. Just stopping by to say, hey, I hope everyone is having a really good day. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, I hope we have a good day too, kid. Same to you. Um, I think that Doodoo Mamas. I think that the I think that the whole like shirt underneath the shirt, like putting on a new shirt and then like doing the whole like weird sleeve thing to take off the old shirt and then pull it off through the new shirt was pretty funny. I didn't do this. I mean, obviously, I didn't have anything that I needed to hide. I was just a very by this point, I was pretty skinny. I'd become far skinnier than I am now, like scary skinny. I would consider myself. I don't know. I don't know what I consider myself right now, slim, but I was like skinny. I talked. I didn't use the term doo doo mamas, Liana, but I talked about having a weird soft spot for doo doo mamas actually with my roommate not too long ago, and my neighbor came over and was teasing me about it, and it's one of those things. I don't go for them. It's not my thing. I don't chase them. It's weird, right? I love donuts, guys. I love donuts. Not donut, just the glazed donut. I love them. I have enough money to get them whenever I want. I can have as many glazed donuts as I want, and it would be amazing, right? I could walk and get a glazed donut right now, but I don't get them. Even though as a child I thought to myself, as soon as I can get them, oh, no one's gonna be able to stop me. I'll eat a dozen a day. And now I have money, and I have uh, agency, and I don't really eat donuts very often. I think I have on average a donut every like 3 months, 2 3 months. And the same thing happened with doo doo mamas. I can remember being, without getting too explicit, I can remember being in high school, and most of the doo doo mamas were like dating dudes that were outside of high school. That was like a thing. And I remember thinking to myself, like, dang, as soon as I'm like the age that doo doo mamas go for, like, you won't be able to stop me. I'm gonna be knee deep in doo doo. But then, I was of that age and no longer considered that to be a respectable way to live my life. Hannah's laughing at me. And so I didn't end up doing it, but that was the thing that I thought I would want. That was the thing that I really thought that I would want. That's been kind of like a motif in my life, like a reoccurring theme is like really thinking I'm gonna want something that I can't have, and the second that it would be really easy for me to get, I realize I realize I don't want the thing anymore. Hmm. It's really sad. Oh, Cass. Is Cass leaving? Oh. Thank you for being in the stream, Cass. I appreciate you. Um, I had a skinny white. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It's weird. It's a heady cocktail, the doo doo mama. The the elusive doo doo mama. A heady cocktail indeed, but you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You gotta keep your head on a swivel. I think that because I spent so much time, like that was all my neighborhood was when I grew up. There's just a certain type of woman. Yes, there's a certain type of woman that was very plentiful in the neighborhood that I grew up in. I still see them from time to time here in Los Angeles, and when I see them, like the I'd say like 12 to 17-year-old in me is like, wow, check it, wow, look at it, wow, what an amazing day it is. I should come here more often. But then, the me who has lived my life kind of goes, all right, it's time to go home. That's really funny. That's really funny. I gotta be careful about that. Okay, can someone explain what doo doo mamas are? I feel like Liana did. I feel like Liana did. Do doo doo mamas exist outside of like? Oh no, there's probably doo doo mamas in New York. Do doo doo mamas exist in small towns, Liana? Do you think they exist in Oklahoma? I feel like everybody has like. Um, I'm trying to think of a term that doo doo mom is such a great term because it's not offensive, really, in my opinion. A lot of the terms that I would use are kind of offensive, and so I don't want to say them. Does anybody in this chat know the term chicken head? Dang, I really wish I hadn't said that because I am saving the stream and there's no way for me to edit that out. But nobody answer that. If you have heard it, don't even answer it, even if you have heard it. Dang it! Of course, Liana knows what it is, though. Dang, even Cyber knows about it. Same thing, more or less, depending on the region you're from. There's a Venn diagram where there's a circle that says chicken head and there's a circle that says doo doo mama, and there's a lot of overlap, an incredible amount of overlap, and um, that was like my whole thing, and all of ooh yeah I do. Oh wow, that's wild. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Don't take me here anymore, guys. Don't take me here. This is a public stream, and it's gonna be saved on my YouTube. Don't make me delete this stream. Don't make me delete this stream by saying something that's gonna get me in trouble. Um. Crap. What a horrible note to end this on. All right, let me go over some news. I have two EPs out. One's called Ego Death, the other one's called Quick Breath. I'm sorry I didn't play through the normal medley today. I might delete this stream, guys. If you come back to check on this stream and it's not here anymore, I am very sorry. I have people coming to the stream. I link my mom to these streams now. I send my mom a link to this stream like in the morning, so we don't need that. We don't need me talking about chicken heads in the stream. Where can you find those EPs? Yeah, this was Liana's fault. Oh no, this was my fault. I brought this up. Oh, why did I bring up the locker room thing? Why was I talking about gym shorts? Oh, because somebody in the stream said gym shorts. It's their fault. Whoever said that. I hope you're happy. You brought us here. Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster. And YouTube is where you can find all of my music, except for the View. The View's kind of more exclusive. Check it on Bandcamp. It might be on Apple Music. The weird thing is it shows up on Instagram Music, right? The little the pull down that you can use to add songs to your Instagram story. And I don't exactly know. I don't know what Instagram pulls those songs from. I always assumed it was Spotify, and that's why I said that the View was on Spotify. But if it's not, then it's definitely on Bandcamp. Um, the View is definitely on Spotify. Thank you, Maddie. Okay. Mystery solved. The View's on Spotify. Go listen to it there. Also, Ego Death and Quick Breath, I worked really hard on them. Also, guys, it's Monday. I feel like I'm saying that so often. These weeks are just flying by. Quarantine is not doing my brain good. And I feel like I blink and it's already time for quarantines again. So if you're new to the stream or you're new to quarantines, you don't know what quarantines are. Since we've been in quarantine, I've been making a little tune every 7 days, but that's not all. I also shoot a video for them every 7 days and edit it all, and I put it out every Tuesday. It's part of a quarantine series. I've played with the idea of calling quarantine days, but I feel like that's too much of an amalgamation of words of Tuesday, quarantine, and tune, so I'm not going to call it that, at least not officially. Oh, wow. Neobo's listening to the View right now. Thank you. Bing, bing, bing. I wish I got a little, I'm going to eventually hook up my MIDI fighter, and it's going to have sound effects on it. Like one of those old-timey Radioheads. Radioheads. Like the, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to hit one of those things, and then I'll have like a little sound effect that goes like, yay, or something for every time somebody's listening to my music. But until then, you'll have to deal with me miming this, which would be a MIDI fighter. Thank you, Neobo. Also, this is going to be the 6th quarantine. I keep naming them in order every single time I talk about them to help me remember them, because I don't want this to become another Lush Stream scenario where people start requesting songs from Lush Stream and I don't actually recognize the titles of my own songs. The first quarantine was called Honeydew. The second quarantine was called French Lavender. We play it sometimes in the stream. I think it's the only quarantine we play in the stream. The third one was called Home Is You. The fourth one was called Dreams Come True. The fifth one was called I'm Not Dead. And tomorrow's quarantine is going to be called Old Enough. Come on, man, come on. Sorry. Sorry. They're very aggressive today. I think it's almost done. All I need to do is master the song itself, and then I'm going to put that up. That's going to be live on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that around noonish. I'll say noon or 1 o'clock. Something that I've been playing with the idea of doing also is on Instagram. Instagram only allows me to upload a video that's a minute long. A lot of you guys know this if you're active on Instagram. My videos tend to be about 2 minutes, so instead of splitting the video into 2 equal 1 minute pieces and uploading it to Instagram, which can be pretty cumbersome and people don't really want to spend that much time on something. Something that I've realized on Instagram is people don't want to stop scrolling that long. So if I have a video that's like 2 minutes long, people typically won't watch the whole thing or say anything. So I've been taking like excerpts from my quarantines and just putting them up on Instagram. And it's been, if you've been on my Instagram, I'm sorry, it's not the full song, and it's just to keep things active there, you know, to stay active, stay posting content. But if you do want to see the full video, Twitter and YouTube are probably going to be your best bet for seeing the full song, the full tune. And again, tomorrow's will be quarantine number 6. So thank you everybody who's been supporting the series so far. I know a lot of people, especially at the very beginning of this year, were asking me when the new album is going to drop, when the new music is going to drop. And I feel like I really want to wait until people start like going out again before I even think about stuff like that. So that is why I've kind of removed new music releases and shows, obviously, from the news that I do at the end of the morning medley every day. I'm glad that you like the quarantines, Maddie. I'm glad you look forward to them. I always see your comments on them, and I do appreciate you for that. Because I try to remain consistent. Something really interesting about being an entertainer of any sort, right, is if you develop a relationship with your audience, certainly one as close as I have, it's hard not to feel personally indebted to those people. If that makes sense? Is what I'm saying making sense, indebted, I mean like if say me and Lindsay have become very very close, and I post a new song and Lindsay doesn't hear it, it's no longer Lindsay being somebody who enjoys my music, not listening to my music. It becomes like my friend didn't listen to my song, and it's hard not to take that personally, which is weird. This is like the plus and minus, right, of becoming close with an audience. You start becoming more you start expecting more of them. You start expecting things from them that you would like a family or a close friend, which isn't fair a lot of the time. So seeing you're always commenting on the not the morning medley, sorry, the quarantines does actually it is very uplifting, Maddie, because those videos take an embarrassingly amount of time and energy for me. I wish that they were as quick and easy and as fun to put together as they appear, but I don't know how to do video editing very well yet. So, and the songs and everything and the mixing, it's a nightmare to put those together. So I'm glad that you appreciate them. It's very motivating and encouraging. So thank you, Maddie. Darko says, Omni, I'm Not Dead song sounds like it's from the Outrun Racing series by Sega. I'm very familiar with this series. By very familiar, I mean I've played it 4 or 5 times. Now, Outrun, the arcade one that's like 3D, I've played a lot. I haven't played the classic Outrun. In fact, I didn't even know Outrun was a sequel of Outrun, like the old one. That being said, I do appreciate that because the new one that I played about 5 years ago had really good music in it. I think the music was really good. I don't think it sounds similar to my music, but you seem to be somebody that is more familiar with the game anyway, so I trust your judgment over my own. Thank you for that compliment. I'm glad that you enjoyed I'm Not Dead. I mean, yeah, I'm really glad. That was a fun song to me. Very choppy, very future funky. Oh no, I wasn't like calling you out or anything, Lindsay. I saw your name in the chat and I was trying to make an example, so I'm sorry. That wasn't personal. Just imagine I commented too, Leanna. Fan. The video editing is a drag, says Umbe. It is a drag. Thank you, Leanna. Leanna has a weird thing in the chat because Leanna's the only person that I've met in person. So I feel very close to Leanna, but it's almost not fair because it's just because I've had I don't know, IRL conversation. I hate the acronym IRL, but I almost said flesh conversation, and that sounds way weirder, so I'm going to say IRL. I had an IRL conversation with Leanna, and so, yeah. Yeah, I will imagine that you are commenting on all my stuff, Leanna. Thank you. Maddie wants everybody to have a modest Monday. I'll try my best. Good luck on your business dealings, Lindsay. That's it. That's it, guys. I played Hush Hour. By the way, that last piece I played was called Hush Hour. I didn't even intro it or explain it, but I wrote it in Hong Kong. There's a video of it on my page. If you want to see it, please go check it out. Also, the video to Into Thin Air is very good, and I worked very hard on that. I shot most of the video from a airplane window, which I know is pretty cliche, but I love flying, and so I am never jaded by the mere sight of some clouds at eye level. That stuff is very impressive to me. This stream has been a little bit cursed, but thank you for everybody for sticking with it and also for giving it likes. I think the likes will have justified me not deleting it later. I'm going to be here tomorrow for Morning Medley number 128 on Tuesday at 9 a.m. So I hope to see you guys then. If not, just enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe. I know there's a lot of weird stuff happening. People are protesting. Everybody's trying to open up states and cities that are currently closed. So just, take it one day at a time, and hopefully I'll be able to see you somewhat consistently in the streams. Thank you always for being respectful to me and polite to one another. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Abba. It's waffle time, baby.